Okay, so welcome, family. And we have some serious work to do in this next 4 weeks. And that serious work to do is breathing. Breathing is our birthright. And somehow today, it's almost as if breathing has become a political act. Yeah. And how can we take back the breath as our birthright? And there are many of you here who are sitting in your homes, and your homes are in the US at the moment. And it doesn't matter whether you are a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, there is going to be anxiety, okay? There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unrest. We know that more guns have been bought in the past couple of months. We know that people are worried about civil unrest no matter which side of the coin that you are on. And that has an impact on the body, and it has an impact on the breath. And I really do believe that breathing is love, and breathing can change the world when we breathe consciously. Because we know that when we get tense, when we tense up and we get really tense, and you can see me clenching my fists, and some of you, if you want to, just clench your fists and see what happens. And when you really clench them tight, your breathing gets restricted. Yes, yes. And this is what happens when we get tense. Our breathing gets restricted. The flow of oxygen to the brain is restricted. And actually, we know if the brain doesn't get enough oxygen, there is brain damage. And I talk about temporary brain damage. And when we have temporary brain damage, we do things that we wouldn't normally do. And during this time of uncertainty of the elections, and even if you're not in the USA, there is the uncertainty with COVID spiking, that we get tense and we react and we do things that we wouldn't normally do. And this beautiful practice of the Ānāpānasati, and I break it down to mind full of breathing, because that's what it is. It's mind full of breathing. And I can remember doing this practice. I love this practice. And I can remember doing this practice a few years ago and cracking up laughing in the middle of my meditation. So to give you the invitation, if you want to laugh in your practice, just laugh. You're not in a Dharma hall where anybody's saying, you got to be quiet. Oh my God, I can't laugh. I can't make any noises. You're at home in your own space. You can do absolutely anything in your own space. And some of us sometimes have tears. But I had the laughter, and the laughter was, oh my God, the Buddha is just teaching me to breathe through all experiences. The Buddha is teaching me in the first tetrad, which we are focusing on today, to breathe through the body. Yeah, that's what the Buddha is teaching us, how to learn to breathe through the body. And we'll talk about the other tetrads as we get there. We'll stay present here with the body. And I just want to say that all practices are leading to the same destination in the Dharma. They're leading to the dissolution of the ego. And during times of uncertainty, we can really cling to our identities. We've seen it now. An election is coming up, and it's like, what side are we on? Which side are we on? Who are we going to support? And we're clinging to our identities. This is what happens when we get threatened. And these practices teach us to let go of our identities. It helps us to collapse the identities. And this is really important, because I think it was Angel Kyoto Williams. I remember her saying once, or them saying once, that we come into the world with a breath of inspiration and we leave the world with a breath of expiration. And for me, I said yes, but what's important is that bardo, that what we are doing in between. And all these practices are teaching us to live and die. It's not separate. It's not like we're doing this practice to learn to live well or learn to die well. These practices are teaching us to live and die moment from moment. And in a way, it's sometimes the other day I was laughing because we signpost, we signpost this breath of inspiration with birth. There's birth, this huge event, birth, and then there's this huge event, death. And what if we let go of these labels of birth and death and just allow the flow? I mean, when you go into nature, you don't think, oh, look at this new birth. Let's give it a ritual. Let's give it a birthday, you know? And this is the whole thing. If we can realize that nothing is born and nothing dies. And in this practice, you can begin to understand that. It's through, I won't be able to teach you to understand it. It's by doing this practice, by taking this practice seriously, you will begin to see from the in-breath and the out-breath that nothing is born and nothing dies. So in this first tetrad, we are focusing on two bodies. We're focusing on the body of the breath. The breath is the body. If we are elements, we're focusing on the body of flesh. So let's go to the body of flesh. We're focusing on this body which has skin, and just touch your skin, touch your hands to become aware that this is skin. We're focusing, this is what we're focusing on. We're focusing on flesh, and we can all feel that flesh, and we're focusing on bone. We're getting to know and to become familiar with the body, with the anatomy of the body. And we're not going to go into detail with the anatomy because that's more left in the Satipatthana practice, but we are focusing on the body. And this is when I talk about the body of breath, the body of wind, because this body is made up of the elements of earth. The chair that you are sitting on came from earth. The house or the building that is planted, that the building we are sitting in is earth, and we are earth. We need the food. We need food from the outside to continue living and breathing. We wouldn't survive without earth. We wouldn't survive without water. We are water, and not just inside but outside. There is no division between the two. And we are fire, we are heat. The body needs heat. We couldn't survive without heat, and we couldn't survive without water. We are part of this environment that we are destroying, rapidly destroying. And so coming to the wind element, breath, this practice is for us to come into connection with the element, the wind element, the breath element. We cannot survive. Out of all the elements, the one we really don't want to be without is the wind element, it's the air element. And this is why we need to become familiar with the in-breath, the out-breath, the in-breath, the out-breath. I will also want to say that actually breathing can be traumatic. It can be because of people's experiences. I don't know what experiences that you've had, but I do want to flag that up, that actually connecting to the body of breath or connecting to the body of flesh can be traumatic. Yeah. But this is what we are, and this is what we are exploring. And how can we begin to release that trauma if there is trauma? This is how we begin to have the dissolution of ego, of identities, of really beginning to release the trauma. Yeah. So if we get activated, how can we be kind? And in a way, this is, if in the practice that you do become activated, it's okay. There are things that you can do. One of the things is you can, people call this a trauma exercise, but I would go back to Baha'ya who met the Buddha, and and Baha'ya got it when the Buddha said, in the seen, only the seen, in the heard, only the heard, in, you know, in the touch, only the touch. And what we mean by this is that if you get completely activated, open your eyes. I see a lamp, that's it. Don't make it mean anything. I see a desk, don't make it mean anything. If you get activated, don't make it mean anything. Just open your eyes and connect to what's in your room to just ground you, or place a hand on your heart and come back to this touch of kindness, this touch of warmth, or place your hand on the belly to just ground yourself, or pick up a cushion and put a cushion in your arms, or you may just need to stand up and walk around. The beauty of practicing on Zoom is that you are in your own private space. So if you need to walk up and you need to stretch, then do that. Okay, take care of yourself. Really, this practice is about self-love, self-care. The other thing that I want to talk about is the 4 tantric rites of friendship. And for me, when I was thinking about teaching this practice and the Ānāpānasati, I was thinking, yes, let me, with each stage, connect it to one of the tantric rites of friendship. So the first one is fascination. And sometimes you hear people talking about babies who fascinate, and they're just fascinated with the world. They're in the body. This is why we begin with the body, because when we come into the world, we're just with the body. We haven't left the body. You know, when we're born, we haven't left the body. Maybe some of us have slightly come out of the utero, slightly traumatized, but we still have this curiosity, this fascination with this being, this world. And this is what we're doing in this first tetrad, is becoming fascinated with the breath, becoming fascinated with the body. I mean, this body is with us 24/7. Let's get fascinated by it. Get curious about it. We breathe 24/7, even if we're not conscious about it. Well, that's what we're doing. In, out, in, out. And we know, those of you who perhaps think, oh, focusing on the breath is so boring, hold your nose and hold this and see how boring the breath is. And I'm sure after 30 or 40 seconds, you're going to be wanting to have that breath back again. Okay. So get curious about this love. Breath is love. Yeah. And we need, it's our birthright. And as I said, we need to reclaim it, because during these times, it's almost as if breathing has become a political act. Yeah. And I'd say the political is personal, the personal is political. Reclaim the right to breathe, to be aware of the in-breath, the out-breath, the in-breath, the out-breath. So we're going to practice. This is what we're going to do. We're going to sit for 40 minutes. This Ānāpānasati is for serious meditators. So if you think, oh my God, 40 minutes, how am I going to do this? That's fine. Get up, go for a walk, come back down again, okay? Nobody's watching you. Okay, so it really is okay if you can only manage 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's fine. Just stay with us. Yeah, you can go off and do something, but stay with us and we'll come back together as community after the practice. So just allow yourself to settle. And turn off your camera if you would like to turn off your camera. So, preparation. Allow yourself to fully arrive. So become aware of the mind. And just let any thoughts of what you did half an hour ago or yesterday, or any thoughts that speak about tomorrow, just park them. Just ask those thoughts to step aside so that you can fully arrive into the now, the moment of now. And having the sense of your heart opening and your mind dropping in to the opening of your heart. So mind, heart becomes one. When we get distracted, the mind has pushed the heart out, and its normal state is for mind, heart to be one. And allow the mind, heart to settle into your body. And your body to settle onto your meditation spot. And allow yourself to arrive into this secluded, meditative spot. And just do what you need to do to be fully present for this practice. So if it actually means that you need to get up and do something because you forgot something, then do it now. This is preparation for the practice. And allow yourself to become aware of this body, aware of its skin, aware of its flesh, aware of bone. And just notice if there was some aversion as I named aspects of the anatomy, or notice if there was some warmth and love towards the anatomy. And this is just telling us something about the relationship to the body, that's all. And just know that the elements of earth, water, fire, air are all here to support us in this practice. We are not separate from the elements. This is what the body is made up of. Earth, feeling the solidity of earth. Water, feeling the fluidity of blood, saliva in the body. Fire, feeling the warmth, the heat in the body. And wind, the wind element. Becoming aware of the touch of the inhale and the exhale. And really see if you can just open up to some joy of just having this time right now to focus on the in-breath, the out-breath, to just simply focus on breathing. That's all we have to do right now for the rest of this practice, is to focus on breathing and to focus on the body. The Ānāpānasati, the practice of mind full of breathing. Thus, we train ourselves. Breathing in, I notice a short breath. Breathing out, I notice a long breath. Just simply noticing the length of your breath. A short breath, a longish breath, a shortish breath, an in-between breath. Just noticing the length of your breathing. That's all you have to do. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, noticing a short breath. Breathing out, noticing a long breath. Simply noticing the length of your breathing. The mind will wander. It's what the mind loves to do. Go for a ride in a hot air balloon. So we just kindly bring it back. Just bring the mind back to the inhale, the exhale. Thus, we train ourselves. Breathing in, I notice a short breath. Breathing out, I notice a long breath. Simply noticing the quality and the length of your breathing. If there's any chatter in your head, any narrative playing itself out, just ask it to relax. Ask the narrative, the chatter to step aside so that you can just have this time to focus on your in-breath and out-breath. So you can focus on the length of your breathing, noticing a short breath, a shortish breath, a middling breath, a longish breath, a long breath. Just simply noticing the length of your breathing. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, noticing a calm breath, breathing out, noticing an anxious breath, simply noticing the quality of your breathing. Is it a smooth breath, a soft breath, a ragged breath, an agitated breath, a joyful breath, a happy breath? Just noticing the quality of your breathing without narrative, just labeling happy breath, anxious breath, joyful breath. Again, if you can hear narrative unraveling in the mind, thoughts pulling you into the future or the past, just ask those thoughts to relax. Just say, relax. Ask them to step aside so that you can really allow yourself to become familiar with the body of breathing. Allow yourself to become fascinated with your inhale, the exhale. Really notice the quality and the subtleties of your breathing. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, noticing a calm breath, breathing out, noticing a joyful breath, breathing in, noticing an anxious breath, breathing out, noticing an agitated breath. Just simply noticing the quality and the subtleties of your unique breathing. The mind will wander. It's what the mind loves to do. And this practice is about coming back. Keep on coming back to the breath, to the body. The more times you come back, The more times you notice that you have been distracted means that you are practicing. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, noticing a relaxed breath, breathing out, noticing a tense breath, simply noticing the quality of your breathing. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, experiencing the whole body breathing, breathing out, experiencing the whole body breathing. So allowing yourself to completely occupy the body. Become aware of this body. And just allow the breathing to continue but fade into the background as you become aware of this body. Every pore in the body breathing, experiencing the whole body breathing from head to toe, from toe to foot to ankle to legs to buttocks to groin to torso to hands, wrist, arms, shoulders, neck, head, face, experiencing the whole body breathing. The mind will wander, and we can still be meditating, focus when the mind wanders. We remain focused and in the present. If we stay sitting on the bleachers, we don't get off the bench, off the bleachers, and start dialoguing with the narrative in our heads. We just watch it play itself out and bring ourselves back to the body. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, experiencing the whole body breathing, breathing out, experiencing the whole body breathing. Really see if you can experience an aliveness, an energy arising in the body as you breathe in through your feet all the way up through your body to your head, and breathing out from the head all the way down through the body, experiencing an aliveness as you experience this unique body. If you're experiencing any restlessness or agitation, just place a hand upon your heart or upon your belly, or even open your eyes as we move into the final section of this practice. Thus, we train ourselves. Breathing in, experiencing the touch of the inhale, calming the body. Breathing out, experiencing the touch of the exhale, soothing the body. So become aware of where you experience the touch of the inhale and the exhale. For some of you, it will be in the abdomen, rising and falling, maybe in the cleavage, chest area, rising and falling. Some of you may even feel it in the small of your back or even in your hands. Some of you may experience the touch of the inhale and the exhale in the throat area. And some of you may be able to experience the touch of the breath on the upper lip and inside the nostrils. You choose where you experience the touch of the breathing and focus your attention on that spot. That's the only place where your attention needs to be. Focus it on one spot and become aware of the touch of the inhale and the touch of the exhale, soothing the body, calming the body. Allowing the touch of the inhale and the exhale to soothe you, calm you, soothe you, calm you. Thus, we train ourselves, breathing in, experiencing the touch of the inhale to soothe the body, breathing out, allowing the touch of the exhale to soothe the body. Inviting you to really apply as much effort as you can in this last 3 minutes. This may be the 3 minutes of the whole practice where you are completely focused. We can meditate for 40 minutes and have just a minute of presence, a minute of being in the now. So really train yourself to become aware of your touch of the inhale and the exhale. Bring the mind back to the touch of the breath upon the body and notice the impact, the effect of the touch of the breath upon the body. So gently bringing this formal practice to a close, we can still be aware of breathing. We can still be aware of the body, even when we are not formally meditating, and just reminding us that the Buddha taught that meditation was standing, walking, sitting, lying. So that means meditation can be everything. Just taking a moment to notice what you are experiencing. When you're ready, it would be great to see people. If you could turn your screen on, if you feel comfortable. And bye. And might be quite nice to read from people in the chat what the practice was like for them to share. And you don't have to have liked the practice. You can have aversion to the practice. You can have a neutrality to the practice. It's your experience. So just an invitation perhaps for some of you to share what that was like. Yeah. On these Zoom courses, I always say that we don't get to know the people on the course, we get to know our practice. We get to know the breath. We get to know the body. So just ask if people could share, some people, how the practice was for them. Calming and peaceful, deeply peaceful. Noticing that the touch of the breath is what is easiest for me. It was wonderful, thank you. Is there anybody who would like to explore what happened in their practice? I'm going to turn the recording off now.